What's going on, guys? Matthew back again, this time for another TV review. Today we're reviewing The Penguin, Episode 2. Let's get into it.
Feel alive, Vic, huh? Feel your heart beating?
This episode is directed by Craig Zobel and written by Erica L. Johnson. We begin with Sophia Falcone in therapy, where we are introduced to her therapist named named Julian Rush, played by Theo Rossi. And it does seem like they have some kind of romance. They get a little too intimate. And it's revealed that she's extremely upset about the death of her brother, which we did find out about at the end of the first episode. From there, we move on to the hit on the truck, where Oz is forced to get in the truck, where he knows there's about to be a hit that he set up with the Maronis in prison. And it's a really good sequence. It's a really good action sequence. Immediately, you as the audience is thrown into a tense situation where you don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, Oz is going to survive, but how is he going to get out of it this time? He ends up having to kill some of the Falcone men, and one of the Maroni guys gets shot, and he ends up leaving with the Falcones. After this, we're introduced to the crooked cop, who's Sophia and her, bodyguard Castillo. They meet him, and he's a drophead. So they give him drops to look into who may have been the inside man on the hit. And after that, Oz goes back to his apartment, where he has a party with hookers, that same hooker from episode 1. And I have a note here, which is, why does the hooker like Oz so much? I know that he's paying her, obviously, but they seem to have a deeper relationship or connection than just him simply paying her for sex. I'm sure we'll find out more about that in the future, about their past history, but it is kind of weird considering that she's not a bad-looking woman, and Oz obviously is not a good-looking man at all. But I look forward to seeing what that's all about, and I hope that it's explained in the future. We then see that Sophia scratches herself in her sleep when she dreams about, I think it was her brother again. And I'm sure we'll get more information on why she scratches herself. They did heavily show her fingernails and her freaking out about it. So I guess we'll find out more about that. We also meet Luca Falcone, who is the Falcone father's brother and is now in charge of the family business, which Sophia does not like very much. From there, we go with Oz to his mother's house, where he finds out that she was across the street heavily into her dementia, and that he's paying, I don't know if he's a nurse or just some guy in the neighborhood to watch after her, but it's very clear that his mom may be a detriment in the future. And it's from there that Oz goes to the funeral for Alberto Falcone, where he talks to Sophia, and to get on her good side, he reveals a little more about himself, about his brothers, and about their death, and how his mother reacted to it, and how she was sleeping for like a month until finally she decided to go dancing with Oz. And it's revealed that that's why he danced with her earlier at the house, to, I guess, make that connection and get her to kind of calm down a little bit. And it's after this funeral that they all go back to the Falcone mansion, and that is where they have one of the Maroni's guys, the one that was shot earlier. They have him in the basement, and unfortunately for them, he's heavily sedated and unable to give the information that they're looking for. But Oz has to make the difficult decision to actually kill him, to stop him from telling on Oz and giving away the fact that he is, in fact, the inside man. This is like probably my only criticism of this episode, is that after Oz stabs him, he decides to keep the knife instead of hiding it somewhere. Now, obviously, maybe if they found the knife, maybe they could have found a way to dust it for prints and find out that it was Oz, but I still would have hidden the knife somewhere very secure. He kind of ends up shooting himself in the foot from doing that, because they find the Maroni man stabbed, so they call all the people involved on the truck job together, and they're looking for any kind of weapon that could have stabbed him to death. It's at this moment that Oz decides that he's going to start a fight where he can secretly hide his knife into Castillo's pocket. Now, when I first saw it, I thought he had hid it into, Vito's pocket. But no, it wasn't. It was actually Castillo. Castillo is then shot by Luca Falcone, and Castillo takes the fall for what Oz did. So now we have two people that are dead because of Oz's actions. The first one is that kid in episode 1 who Oz blamed for the death of Alberto. And then now Castillo for the death of the Maroni man. So one by one, Oz just keeps blaming people, and they keep taking the fall for what he's done. We then see that Sophia has full trust in Oz, and she brings him into her plot to take over for the Falcons, which is only just a very positive thing for Oz. And the episode ends there. So starting with the plot, I have to give it a 10 actually. I had no problems with it other than that small detail about the knife, but that did actually come back into play in a big way at the end of this episode. I have no qualms with this plot at all. I have to give it a 10. For the writing, I also have to give it a 10. I did not have any problems like I did with the first episode. With the first episode, I had a little exposition problem with Sophia. In this one, there was really nothing. Just just smooth writing all the way through. So I have to give the writing a 10 out of 10 as well. Cinematography, also a 10. I had no problems with it. In the first episode, like I said, you had that one obvious green screen at the beginning. And then there was some weird stuff as far as the daylight, which maybe I was being a little too critical. But here, the daylight mixed with the darkness of the show, I really had no problem with it in this episode. So the cinematography is also a 10. So for the acting, I have to give Kristen Milioti huge credit once again. She is incredible in this role, playing a crazy person. You never know what she's going to do. Even at one moment, she walks into the living room of her house after the funeral, and it just goes dead quiet because everyone's watching her. They know that she went to Arkham, and everyone just kind of feels really awkward around her. And so she just begins to start eating food with her hands in a very animalistic way, just to freak everybody out. Because, I mean, at this point, nobody's going to want to be your friend anyway, so why not have some fun with it, I guess. Colin Farrell is still obviously very good as the Penguin. You still can't tell it's him. Even in my episode 2 viewing, I still find myself forgetting that it's him, and I just feel like I'm watching this ugly fat man who's a criminal. It's crazy how good he is in this. I have to give the acting a 10 out of 10 for this one as well. And finally, the pace. This episode, I think, just like the first one, is 55 minutes long, and it flies by. I paused it at one moment to get up and get a drink or something, and it was already 35 minutes in. It's crazy how fast this show is going by, but the pace, I have to also give a 10. This one was great, better than the first one, and I hope that it just keeps getting better from here. But anyway, guys, that's my review for The Penguin episode 2. I still highly recommend watching this show if you haven't started it already. Obviously, I hope you didn't watch this review before watching the episode. There's a lot of spoilers in this review. But if you have watched this episode or this review, seriously consider watching this show. It's very good. I think it's the best television show on TV right now. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Did I overrate the episode? Should I have given it a lower score? And is this one better than the first episode? Let me know in the comments. But anyway, guys, please hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys next time. Take it easy, guys.